you're obviously here from EduGold.
Yes.
Talk to me about what EduGold is and what you do.
Okay. I'm Jermaine Broadbent and I'm the Director of EduGold, which is a careers orientated training organisation.
Okay. And Rob, do you want to explain
I
what
work
you do?
for Professionals UK. We're a company that finds international students placements.
Okay. Okay, good. And how long have you both been in the employment field?
I started recently. Before EduGold, I was the International Sales Director for a language training organisation.
Okay.
However, the person who is writing the courses for EduGold is extremely well qualified English teacher and careers counsellor.
Right, okay.
And is the head of careers at St Mary's University College in London.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
Okay.
And Rob, how long have you been doing it?
I'm a recent graduate.
Okay.
However, Professionals UK will be celebrating 6 years in August, and between us we have about 30 years experience in this field.
Okay. Okay. And why employment? Why were you interested in getting into that area?
Well, my interest started from speaking to contacts that I had in both recruitment and people who own their own companies who were talking to me about the applications that they had arriving for jobs and the interviews that they were giving, and it seemed to me and it seemed to them that there are a lot of able people out there, very well educated, but not skilled in the art of getting a job.
Sure.
I then sort of had the idea of putting together some careers training and started talking to organisations like internship companies like Professionals UK, who confirmed that yes, you know, that also applied for some of the interns that they were placing, and that there could be a place for this type of training.
Okay.
And for Professionals UK, it was set up by Karen Bowring on a need that many of the students were interested in internships, but the schools didn't have the time to be able to find the placements. So Professionals UK was set up to help those students into getting onto the next career ladder move by locating these placements. For me, myself, recently graduated, I did 2 placements which allow me to be able to relate to the students, and I felt that the best thing was to kind of assist those students through the process using my experiences.
Okay. And how did you guys get together, and how exactly are you working together?
Okay. Well, I met Karen a long time ago, Karen Bowring, so began talking to her about the skills for work idea and the training courses that I was thinking of offering. So we've been kind of, I suppose, feeding off each other in that I've been listening to her experiences, putting ideas to Karen about courses, and Karen's been sort of thinking about both interns and other companies who may be interested in the training that I'm offering.
Okay.
So at the moment we're working closely to promote both of our services, really, because we think it will help the people who do the internships to have this type of training, and anybody who's out there looking for work, really.
Yeah. And as I touched upon, it is that, you know, the difference between someone who's just graduated, who's maybe done the English lessons, and it's getting them to be employable. And to do that, they can require the skills, or they might require the placement. And each individual is unique and needs to be treated so, but sometimes it can be the helping hand they need to be able to move into employment in London or the surrounding areas of England in general.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to add that the training that EduGold offers isn't English language training, it isn't a business English course, it's careers training. So this was the gap between what schools such as UIC offer, which is the excellence in their English training, and then the work from Professionals UK and the careers bit is the section in between to make the transition a little bit easier.
That makes sense, absolutely. Yeah. Okay. What do you think the hardest thing is about finding a job for a student?
I'd say for a job it would have to be kind of potentially previous work experience. In some fields a student will go to university, they'll be taught the theory behind it, but they'll never actually use skills, and an employer likes to see those skills having been used, whether it be in their own country or whether it be in England. As for placements, we would say that because we're able to help secure those jobs, Sometimes it can actually be the English level. So I think it really depends, and especially for each candidate.
Sure. What's your experience?
In my opinion, it's really standing out from the crowd.
Right.
There's a lot of applications for the jobs now, so you really do need to have a tip-top CV and covering letter if it's required, or fill in an application form extremely well. And sometimes, although you may have the skills, the experience and the education, the actual art of conveying that message into your application is missing, which is where I hope to help people.
Sure. Okay. If you had one golden tip, like the best thing you could tell a student in order to help them find work,
golden
what would
tip
it be?
would be to be prepared, to have a good CV, make it unique to yourself, make it appealing to the person to read, and do your research on the company before going to an interview.
Okay, great, thank you. Okay, so Jermaine, if you had to give one golden tip to a student looking for work, what would it be?
It would be, don't set your sights too low, don't underestimate yourself, and be ambitious. As well as looking at jobs advertised, think about the types of organisations that you'd like to work for and the types of roles you'd like to do. Put together a good CV, an engaging covering letter, and send them off to those organisations. You never know what will come of it, and you might just save them a job advert space and get yourself an interview for something you'd really like to do.
We've all got stories about students and what they've done and how they've found work. What's your favourite success story?
I'd say I'd say Aaron. Aaron was a law graduate from Germany. He was very interested in doing a law placement. He needed that extra helping hand, and so we found him a law internship within a high-flying property company. From that, he swiftly got promoted to communications manager, and then became the company secretary, a very prestigious role within that company, and has done very well in the 3 or 4 years since his placement.
Okay, great.
Mine would be with regards to a Portuguese friend of mine, actually, who lives in the UK, who had been doing an IT support role and lost his job, and then was unemployed for 2 years without paid work. But during that period, he had started doing voluntary work in a youth centre and a few other sort of odd bits and bobs. Anyway, I helped him put a CV together and actually complete an application form, which got him a job again in IT support after 2 years out of the running. And it was a good job, you know. He started on 18,000, which is a good starting salary in
Nothing
Brighton.
wrong with that.
It was lower than the job he'd left in London, but you know, it was a step back onto the career ladder.
Sure.
So I felt really pleased, and you know, to see somebody get going again, really, with what they wanted to do.
Great. Oh, it's good. It's good to see such a positive effect.
Yeah,
Great.
Thank you.
We'd
Thank
like
you
to
very
help
much.
the students.